right, so this is our non-instructional week session for Math 211. This was just developed in the spring, so this is the brand new version of the course going out for summer. So the idea here is that we're giving instructors a quick walkthrough of what they can expect to see, what they'll be teaching in the course, and also offering up the opportunity to ask any questions. So if you need help, today's a good day for it. And Becky, I don't know if you have any, like, if you want to, as you're going, you could provide some insight about maybe how you've previously taught this course that might help instructors too. Any like recommendations or tips or advice, that sort of thing. And then we also have, the cat's walking on the keyboard, our helpful rep Tanya from Pearson, if anybody has any integration questions, because we are using my math lab. And so that will be my spiel. If you have any questions as we're going through, feel free to unmute and ask, or I will monitor the chat also. All yours.
All right. So I've shared my screen so that you've got an idea. You should be able to see exactly the same thing on yours. This is our home page for the Math 211. You'll notice that we have the link to the syllabus and the link to each module set up there. When you, the announcements, the only announcement that is there right now is the one saying that the students have already paid for the materials. You'll want to do a welcome announcement, and then as I've gained access to the org, we're going to put some announcements in there that you can post each week. But you may want to personalize that and make those announcements as this is what we're working on this week type announcements for the students. Within the syllabus, there are some things that you need to update. Inserting a picture helps personalize the course, and then of course name, phone number, all of that information as appropriate. And you will want to do, as has already been talked about, the Zoom meeting for the first week. And then I find it helpful to have at least office hours or times that the students can meet with me later. And then let's see, on down here, this is mostly the things that you'd expect to see within your course. You will need to update this makeup policy page to add in your own. What is here is what I would recommend, that late assignments be assigned a grade of 0 unless the students received prior approval from the instructor. I think that's a good policy. If you want to allow late work and some of that, you may want to put that in as well. I think if we go on down to our assignments, within the assignments, I think we did allow some late submissions. So you may see some of that come up as we look at the actual assignments. Like here in homework, you can see homework assignments combined with review assignments. That's not the point I was looking for. This part. Students are allowed to unlimited attempts on the homework, but a 2% per day late penalty will be assessed on any homework submitted after the due date. So you can see there is some allowance for a late assignment, but there is a penalty involved. And I believe there's a similar penalty on the quizzes, although I'm not seeing that right now. I'm trying to read too quickly. On the quizzes, you'll notice that students can get a second attempt. The second attempt has to be earned. They have to get an 80% or higher on the corresponding homework assignments. And here it is. Quizzes submitted after the due date will be assessed a 20% late penalty. So there is a very strict penalty on doing a quiz after a due date. But, and I really want to encourage keeping students on time with their assignments, especially when we try to do these in an 8-week course, which is, we've set it up for 8 weeks, but try to make it possible for the 16-week alter to be done when we get into a regular semester. But especially this summer, students have got to keep up with the work or it's going to be bad. Some of the other things in this assignments and grading that I wanted to bring out because they're new. I am asking them to submit notes. So notes from the readings and the videos. And so in the learning activities, as they watch the videos, they read the assignments. I want them to summarize, to make some notes. One of the things that's bothered me is that I'm seeing a trend towards students not taking notes in class. And I think that part of this is being done in an online class. They just zoom right to the homework and they don't take any notes. So we've put this idea of reading notes, of readings and videos, taking notes on those and submitting them as part of the assignments in this class, which is a little different from any of the classes we've done online before. We still have our discussions. And as I mentioned, the homework and the quizzes and how those late penalties count. Study and prep, these are 2 assignments that go along with the notes part of it, asking students to summarize those notes and what they have learned. And again, they receive credit for these. As we put it together with the note submission, it will make up 5% of the grade. There are 2 review assignments instead of a practice exam. I put in review assignments, and then we have the 2 exams. And here is the percentage breakdown for the course, the number of assignments, and the percentage that those categories count as. So we do ask that you to keep you can make changes to those specific assignments, but that you keep the same percentages in there and that they test over the same concepts. So are there any questions over that percentage distribution or the type of assignments before I move on to the modules?
Nothing in the chat, but do feel free to unmute. And Stephen, you're not alone anymore. Ellen has also joined us. We do have a couple instructors in here now. And we're good.
All right, so let's go on to the modules. Because in the modules is where I have the instructor resources, your instructor guide, the BNC bookshelf instructor guide. So that's going to be where we connect the course. There's module announcement templates. And again, I think that will be blank because I don't think I got anything in there, but I will try to post some announcement templates into our org so that we have the opportunity for that. The place to report issues and faculty evaluation of course design are all in the instructor resources. I want to take just a minute to look over this instructor guide and explain a little bit about what's there. Again, most of this is the standard third-party tools and how to set that up. And then here is the course that you'll be copying, the course ID. You want to be sure not to give that course ID to students. However, it is just for you. So as you follow the policy to link it into the course, that will be the course ID. Tanya, did you have anything you wanted to address right there before I move on to some of the rest?
Yeah, thank you. I was actually just going to double check that course ID because Adita and her team had asked us to change it so it was a more like universal naming convention, but I think it's still that course.
Okay.
And person will request access.
Yeah, I don't know that we switched these 2. That MATH211 and 212. I think they should still be this.
Okay, let me check the grid really quickly in our. Yeah, for MATH211, I have designer 69290, and I'm pretty sure that that is a copy of the poll there. So let me just double check that really quickly.
So give me that one again, designer what?
Oh, sure. Sorry, let me just 69290.
Okay, 69290.
Yes, but the poll should work as well.
Okay.
Just to double check that that is what I copied when I created this copy in the designer account.
And we can change that for fall. I mean, just because I can change the instructor guide for the fall.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Like it's loading right now. I'm sure
Okay.
it's the same one, you know,
Okay.
it's just semantics, literally. It's just the name.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it might not actually, this is like kind of an aside, just thinking about it, Tanya.
Mhm.
It might not actually hurt if we did keep the developers version of the course for like the first semester it runs, just in case they have to get in there to make changes, since
Okay.
they won't have access to that designer course.
Well, but even that really won't matter, Adita, because if I make changes in this course, what the instructors have is a new course. So I would still have to put those announcements into our org and
Yeah,
ask each individual instructor to make that change.
Yeah, I just mean for that like fall semester, if anything did
yeah.
have to get changed, just because you know it's the first run of the course, they're
Right.
a strong likelihood that there's something that might need to get changed. Maybe it couldn't hurt to wait until fall to swap it out for that other one, just so we can just like skip that first round of any stuff.
Okay.
But either way, doesn't matter. We'll double check things and make sure the right URL's in there, the right ID's in there. And it'll work with either still.
Right now they are identical, unless Professor Pohl has made any changes. Yeah, I guess my only concern is, you know, the microsite that we created for Ivy Tech links to the designer course ID that I gave you. So if Professor Pohl makes any changes to this, then it won't match.
Okay.
But yeah, as long as
I have not made any changes at this point.
Okay. Okay.
I can say that with definite.
Okay.
So
yeah. Great.
They should be exactly the same at this point in time.
Okay, just let us know and we'll change it to whatever is the most accurate. Like we just want things to be consistent for you guys and not cause any confusion.
Well, if I make changes in it over the course of the summer, we will let you know so that we can change it to an updated course.
Great.
And that's a strong possibility because there's always things I don't catch in the meantime. So
yeah, just let us know. We'll make the change.
Okay.
But yeah, everything looks good. I mean, these are the instructor guides, as long as they know that they need to create the course via the BNC bookshelf link, which I saw in your Ivy Learn.
Yeah, I don't think we have the, let me see if I can go back to the other page for a minute. Oh, that's not the one I wanted. I hope
Tanya mentioned it. I'll just chuck in super quick while Becky's doing some navigating. So BNC is the one who gets your like BNC bookshelf link paired with the text. So if you happen to notice that they possibly missed your section, you can submit a help desk ticket or it's ServiceNow or something like that. You can submit a ticket and then that will get routed to the correct people and they can get that connection set up for you. So that's not something that I or Becky or Tanya, none of us can help with that. Help desk will be the quickest way to get it done. So just throwing that out there.
Yeah, here's the page I was trying to go back to. Here's the BNC bookshelf. So that's what we definitely want to go through instead of the MyLab and Mastering now.
Yeah, it's if you've never used it before, it's basically that BNC bookshelf link basically just opens My Math Lab. You're opening it through the BNC bookshelf link. You'll see pretty much all the same stuff. It's just through a slightly different interface.
And you can see here in the instructions, it's pretty straightforward, I think. So. Update grades weekly. Basically, the one thing you're going to have to grade every week would be the discussions or at least most weeks, and those note pages. The note pages, I think we counted them like 5 points each, but it's more or less, you know, you did it or you didn't, but there are rubrics included in all of it, so it shouldn't be a problem. Otherwise, your My Math Labs grades should automatically sync anyway. If you have trouble with that, usually you can go in and click the the auto sync everything and just click sync, and it will bring those back in if somehow it got disconnected in the process. So I've had that happen once or twice. As always, you're encouraged to personalize the course content. You will have to set up the due dates, and I think I've got someplace in here a suggestion on those as well. But proctored exams, you need to set your own password on each proctored exam, and don't use mine necessarily because that gets passwords out there for students to get there a little too easily. Welcome announcements, and here's the guidelines for it. And I do try to make it a lot more personal maybe than some of the generic forms that are out there, but you do want to kind of get your own personality in there, as well as encouraging your students to be sure to hit that timeline for the drop for non-attendance. A lot of times students won't look until Saturday, so be sure you get that in there. Module breakdown. This summarizes what each module contains. This is not content necessarily as much, I mean, as far as math content, as much as just what is in that module. So as you read through this, this could be pretty generic to any course, but it is obviously set up specifically for Math211, but there is no content as far as this is what we cover in calculus today. This is just a matter of what the assignments are, and my suggestions, like in module 3 is a good time to connect with students who are struggling. Remember, module 4 is going to be your midterm exam, so make sure that they've got a little bit of a heads up in module 2 or module 3 to say, hey, if you've fallen behind, now's the time to catch up and to make those specific contacts. Module 4, as I mentioned, is the exam. So encourage the students, give them an encouraging message, some sort of a motivational message is always a good idea there. I tried to include those little hints. Adia said, mention the things that I would do in a course. All of that's in these module setups. So those are the kinds of things that you would see in the course if you were taking my course. Here's the pacing guide. I thought I gave you a few guidelines for the pacing guide. So here's the pacing guide for an 8-week and for the 16-week, what they would look like. And I think, yeah, the community instructors, here's my email address again, but the community of instructors, I will try to post announcements in there pretty often, and I will try to get those announcement templates into it so that you have an idea of what we're covering each week. This is my first time teaching from this setup as well. I mean, we've had the assignments in a setup previously, but I'm going to be working through the assignments and trying to come up with my own weekly announcements, and I'll try to give y'all a copy of that as we go, and I'll post those in the org. Also in the org, I will place a copy of the slides that Karen and I have used to make recordings from, and I'm going to make new recordings again this time so that you can have an idea of what problems. And again, Karen has made these. Karen Pearson has taught the course more often than I have, so I've used her slides. But it comes from her experience of saying, I know this is where students have traditionally had difficulty. And so you will see as we get into the org, you'll see that posted. They aren't there yet, but you will see those posted. I will probably put it into the modules. Right now, the modules don't have a whole lot of content, but I will put it into the modules, those slides, so that you've got an access to those and have an idea of where students perhaps have had trouble in the past. Are there any questions over anything within the course? or within the org? Like I said, the org right now, I haven't put a lot in there yet.
Nothing in the chat, so I think you might be good.
Okay. I don't have anything else I feel like I need to say. Anita, did you think of something else that maybe I need to cover?
No, I think you got it all. Was Ellen and Stephen, was there anything else you had questions about or you'd like to know about ahead of getting into the course and, you know, teaching at least this version of it for the first time next week?
No, I think I'm good. I was actually sitting down today to kind of make sure I had everything. And so everything looks like it's in good shape, and I'm fixing to, you know, do the standard edits for all that stuff. So for the syllabus and everything.
I was pretty much doing the same thing. I'm assuming that if I have questions later, I could just email you, Becky.
Of course.
Okay. Yeah, I think I'm good right now, though. Thank you.
Any questions on the integration for Tanya or using My Math Labs, anything like that?
The only thing I'm doing is I did click on to the BNC bookshelf to get that integrated. And when I click on launching the courseware for it, it's asking me to link my accounts, and it won't accept the link for the accounts. Like my username and password, I click sign in and nothing happens. So I don't know about going about it a different way.
Yeah, it should just, are you getting an error message or just nothing?
No, it just
happens?
doesn't, nothing happens.
Nothing happens. That's usually a cache and cookies issue.
That's what I figured. So
yeah, it's
I'll
sort of
play with that.
frustrating because you don't get an error. But then if you clear the cache and the cookies, you might also have to wait like 15 or 20 minutes and close everything down. Yeah, it's one of those things.
Yeah, if I click on the My Lab and Mastering link, it takes me into the course just fine.
Oh,
But the BNC thing is not letting me in correctly. So that's probably what that is. So.
You might also try a help desk ticket if you're not seeing it. Yeah. So what Becky's got there is what you should see. This might be what I mentioned earlier with BNC pairs your sections with the content through there. So if you're not seeing it, I would probably go with a help desk ticket and they can investigate.
yeah, Professor Rucker, I can also email you. Would you mind letting me know your email address really quick, just so I can
Sure.
check? Not sure if it's yeah. Okay, thank you. I'll check into your account on our end too and just if I see something.
I mean, I get a screen. I get that first screen where it tells me the course material and all that kind of stuff, and I can see that screen. But when I click on launch courseware, it asks me to link the accounts. And that on that link account screen, it's hold on, let's see, it's doing something slightly different this time. Let me see. Yeah, it comes up to the Pearson link accounts page, and when I put in my credentials, it just nothing happens. I click sign in and absolutely nothing. So yeah, I'll clear my cookies and stuff and try that in a minute.
Yeah, that nothing happens thing, that's usually why. And sometimes it'll even work in Firefox, which isn't what Pearson recommends, but we always recommend Chrome. But yeah, Firefox will sometimes work.
No, I'm definitely in Chrome.
It's weird. So. But yeah, I have a note, so I'm going to follow up with you later and make sure.
Sure thing.
And then I'm just gonna just a couple little side notes. Becky, would you mind going to the modules page real quick? Just the instructor resources area. Thanks. So I'm just going to point out for everybody, if you do have issues, like if you happen to spot, a quiz has the wrong answer marked as the correct answer, or a broken link or any kind of issues within the course, please do use the report course issues link. It's right underneath the module announcement templates. Yep, that's it. That all gets fed into a spreadsheet And it also creates an email to Becky and the ID that's managing the course, which for some I'm not sure. It might go to me, who knows? But it'll go to Becky, who in most cases will be able to fix the problem if it's something to do with the course content itself. But any issues that you have with it, feel free to use that. It's just our way of making sure that if an issue does arise, we've got it recorded and we know that it's getting taken care of. And then if it is something that does need a fix, that's where Becky would also send out an announcement to the instructor org, letting you guys know how to go about fixing it. So please do make sure to use that. If you've got kind of like just questions about the content and maybe, how to go about teaching it, things like that, feel free to email Becky about those kinds of things. But if it's an actual like problem with the course, please do use the course issue, the report course issues link, just so everybody gets it. Ta-da. And then I think I saw both of your names in the instructor org already, so you're good to go there. You'll get any notifications if Becky puts out any announcements, or if I have to go in and put out an announcement or something. And I think those are the two other resources that you need. And yeah, I think that's probably actually about it. Any other last thoughts, questions, comments, etc.?
So if I might have clicked too quickly and didn't get the course code in there, how do I fix that?
Like when you were pairing the course?
Yep.
Oh, that's a Tanya question.
That's why I asked why you were both still here.
Yeah, so you were creating the course,
Uh-huh.
and then what happened? What were you?
I clicked on launch courseware, and then I think I clicked on authorize, and I selected the book, and I don't remember seeing a spot to put the course code in. And now I have a course that does not have that course code.
Yeah,
and I went into details to see if I could edit the course details and put it in there and copy it, but I don't see that.
I think it might be too late at that point.
May have to
I'm
go
so
through
sorry.
and then delete the connection.
Yeah, you if you go to the diagnostics in IvyLearn Canvas, there's a spot where you can delete the course association and everything.
Okay.
And then you can start over.
I am so sorry.
No, not at all. Do you mind pasting your email in the
Yeah,
chat
sure.
as well, so I can follow up with you? And
Sure.
Yeah.
Actually, I have it set so that you can share your page if you want to, Ellen. And that way,
Sure.
Tanya could maybe see what happened or what's going on.
Yeah, let's go here. And okay, so here's what I did. I'll show you what it looks like. I went in, I clicked launch courseware,
Mhm.
and then I connected my account, and I clicked select, thinking I was selecting the book, and then it was going to let me choose the copy code, and I went too fast. So now I have this blank beauty here.
And there's nothing in the course that you're expecting to see.
Nope.
Yeah,
Nothing at all.
That's probably the wrong thing. I can double check really quickly on my end and make sure what. Just type in your email. Please.
You said that was in settings to delete it.
Yeah, it's usually, no, sorry, I'm not looking at the Zoom right now. It would be, actually you'd go back to the BNC bookshelf.
Settings, yeah.
Yeah.
I think where you were, and you might be that second tab that you have open, Becky.
You might have it open already, yeah.
Yeah, because I saw it where you've got like that grade sync. Yes. Right, the help and support. Oh, go to the actual help and support link at the, okay.
Yes, and then the get out, yep. And then
Yep.
scroll down and then you should see delete, yeah. because I just checked and yeah, you just created a brand new course from scratch.
I'm sorry.
No, it's
Okay.
totally.
At least
yeah,
it's on the recording, so somebody else who does it wrong can fix it.
No, that's exactly what I was thinking. It doesn't hurt to like be able to see this stuff and where you're going when you click on it. Especially like, it's nice to know that when you click the delete
You
my
just
lab
need to
and
type
math
in
ring,
delete there, yeah.
yeah, I would have been lightly afraid to do that myself. Oh, Becky's like, this is fine. I got this. Not a problem. I pair my courses.
I've done
all the
this many
time.
times.
I know exactly what I'm doing. I would have been super paranoid about that, but no problem at all.
No, I've done that several times, actually. It's also, if anybody out there is program chair and you have to change teachers at the last minute, it's nice to be able to have them do that before the change goes in, so that
You know.
the right teacher can get to the right course.
Okay, so now if I go back to it, I should be able to launch it again.
Yes, it should now say get started instead of open.
Okay, so
so
this is what
now-
happened.
yeah,
Here it is. I
there
didn't
you
scroll
go.
down.
Yep,
Okay,
yeah.
all right.
Now I know too, because I haven't linked mine yet either.
Well, just so you know, scroll down. Oh, is it not all caps?
It shouldn't matter,
don't know.
but
Let's try.
Doesn't matters, does it?
I think. is that the right one?
Okay, let's try the
Mm.
designer one. Am I spelling it wrong? No, I
Well,
spelled it right.
try it. Yeah, it should work because
69290.
Designer
Oh.
69290. The Becky's doesn't work anymore.
Okay.
oh,
All right. Well, we
good
can
to
swap
know.
that
Yeah.
out super quick in the instructor guide then. And now we
Yeah.
know.
yeah. So,
And it's on the video, so everybody can see the steps of how to do it the right way.
So here's hoping they all stuck around this long, so they're not like,
Right?
oh, both of them will work. Close the
Well, let's see what
video.
mistakes Ellen made today.
Let's see what Ellen taught us today. That's
Right?
Okay.
We all learn by somebody making a mistake.
So what was it? 69290. Okay, I just updated that in the instructor guide. So we do have
Thank
the
you.
absolute most current version. Kat, you don't need to add anything to the instructor guide. Cool.
And then Stephen, it's still so you can share your screen if you want to share where you were having struggles as well.
yeah.
Hopefully everybody's good at this point. So yeah, any last thoughts, questions, comments, concerns for Becky, Tanya, or myself? I mean, it's basically Monday, right? It's after a
Right.
long weekend, so nobody really knows what's going on at this point.
Sorry, I forgot I was muted. I don't see where I can share my screen. Oh shit, never mind. I found it. I'm struggling today. It's all right.
Did you have something that you needed to go through?
So mine, when I get to
Okay.
this screen,
Let's see.
when I get here and click launch courseware, takes me over to this, and I cleared my cookies and cache and everything and started back up.
Mhm.
And when I put in my username and password, which luckily I have right here, nothing happens.
Nothing happens. Yeah. I'll follow up with you, Professor Walker. I feel like this happens and then you clear your cat and you just still have to wait maybe an hour or so and then it'll work. It's really temperamental.
Yeah, so I
also-
figured I'll just try it again a couple of times. I mean, because I can get into it the other way.
Okay.
So that's opening up fine.
What's opening up? Sorry, that you already paired the
If
shell.
he goes to like my math lab instead of the BNC bookshelf.
Oh. Yeah.
Will that create
if I
problems
go to-
later for the students?
I mean,
no, I don't think so.
yeah, like when you pair the course, when you go to pair, if you already have an existing course on the MyLab side, when you actually pair it with the BNC bookshelf.
Would that be
it's-
pairing it to a different course?
Yeah, it's going to pair a copy.
Oh, okay.
So hopefully students, yeah, aren't registering right now anyway.
Right.
No, I don't think they can get
No,
in.
they don't
Yeah,
have
I
access
haven't
yet.
shared yet.
Right.
I haven't published my course, so.
So it looks like you have something paired with this shell already.
Okay.
What is it? What happens when you,
Okay. Well, maybe I can try that then. Okay.
what
So
happens when you click
we
on
may
it
need to
open?
can we remove that MyLab and Mastering from everybody's course as well?
By default, it should not be in there.
Because it was in there for both Ellen and Stephen.
Well,
Apparently.
dang
I
it.
don't see it there. Is it?
It's further down. You just can't
Oh,
see
is it?
Yeah. Huh.
So it looks like you're already paired, so you're gonna have to delete this one.
Yeah, I can do that.
Yeah, I
Okay.
wonder if that's what, if you delete your pairing with the one that's strictly through MyLab and Mastering, if the BNC bookshelf link will work then.
I can do that.
Yeah, something's already paired. If we can check the diagnostic.
Okay.
Let's see. You could help and support. And then get diagnostics there.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then download that, or?
Oh no, if you scroll down.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah.
It has to be all caps when you type that in.
They're very serious about making sure you
Oh,
delete it.
I assumed that because it was in caps there. I was like, okay, I'll do that. And then I can add it the other way. Okay.
Yeah, let's see if it works. It should, if you go to the BNC bookshelf. Yeah.
Let's double check. See if it likes me now.
No, it's still not.
Well, I can clear my cache again and all that good stuff and figure it out. So
Yeah, I mean, I wonder if it would work if you tried, are you in Firefox right now or Chrome?
no, this is Chrome.
Okay. Might work in Firefox, but
Stephen, what you might do is go into the MyLab and Mastering website and try signing in there with the same username and password and make sure that that username and password are still working. I think I had trouble one time where I had to reset my password because I had changed it and forgot I changed it or something crazy. Who knows?
Okay. Yeah,
But
I'll
But you
try that.
might try that and see if that username and password is still working.
yeah, that's a good suggestion, actually. Can you go to my portal.mypearson.com?
Yeah.
And you can try it later if you don't want to do it now.
Yeah, you don't have to do that while we're on the line. If you don't want to.
My portal.
Let's see. It's portal.mypearson.com.
And Tanya, are you the one who's going to join us for 212 later also?
For the one at 12?
Or the math 212, which I think is at 12, yes.
Oh, it is. Yeah. Yeah, I can join.
Okay.
I might have to log off at about 12:40, but
Oh,
definitely.
I just wasn't sure who wound up getting that one because I sent it out. I think I had just invited the whole Ivy Tech at Pearson
Yeah.
email.
Yeah. I thought Eli was gonna maybe join, but
Oh,
I'm fine.
okay, yeah.
I'm fine to do it as
I
well.
see you
Just
and
do it.
Kylie and Eli all as accepted. So probably
Okay.
not all of you need to be there.
Why not? I'll just listen in. Yeah. I'm not sure.
So-
We can't see your screen, Professor Walker, but is anything working?
It asked me to reset my password. So
Go.
Yeah, maybe that.
That may be what was the issue.
Yeah.
I don't remember why I had to reset mine before, but I do remember resetting it, and it seemed to work fine then on something else. But it's strange that it clicked with the My Lab and Mastering, but not with the BNC bookshelf, because usually I get that with the My Lab and Mastering was when I was getting that. I hadn't done BNC bookshelf yet. I may have the same problem you have.
Yeah, that's a common error. Unfortunately, it doesn't give you an error message or an explanation of why if nothing is happening. It's just, yeah, a little bit frustrating.
It is mentioned, by the way, in the guide that I think somebody named Ben sent to us. Let me look and see if it was actually Ben or if I'm just crazy. That could be. Oh, it was Eli. Eli Bernard sent it to us on the 14th. And it's got an instructor guide, and it mentions if it just does the same thing. That's on the second page. When you're linking your account, that it might be a password issue.
Oh,
I feel like Eli helped me with that at one point also. I guess Eli is the expert on this password thing.
yeah, I'm glad he pointed that out. It happens, and it's like, it's like inexplicable.
So Stephen, would you like some continued live support or
Oh, no, I'm fine. I
Okay.
mean, I'll figure it out. It's
Okay.
it's not a big deal.
you at least still have a couple of days left, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so any other last thoughts, questions, concerns? My cat apparently needs attention. Other than that,
Your cat has input.
oh God, she always does. She's a loud one. All right, so I'm gonna call it then. So like I said earlier, if you do find anything in the course in terms of like an issue, please do make sure to use the Google form that's in the instructor resources, the report course issues link. Although do feel free to reach out to Becky via email if you just have questions about course content. If it's related to like scheduling or something with students or contracts or anything like that, that would be a better question for Melissa Speck. Her contact info is in your syllabus. And then, I mean, I'll see some of them too, and I can help out where I can help out, right? I guess if you can come up with some other question, feel free. And then Tanya did also post the Ivy Tech support email for Pearson in the chat as well. It's just ivytechteam@pearson.com. I have that memorized because I use it all the time. So if you need that, that's in there too. And I'm sure it's in their guides that are in the instructor resources area as well. And yeah, it's anybody watching this recording after the fact, congratulations, you got to witness a couple of clearly not entirely uncommon issues with pairing your course. And now you know better. You cannot make the same mistakes that we have. And now we know that we need to use the designer email, so that's fixed. So thank you, Ellen and Stephen, for joining us. And thank you, Becky, for coming back and doing another walkthrough of the course, and Tanya for joining us for all the support questions.
Thanks for your help.
Thank you.